One moment. Bring my face back up here because I know everybody can see. Bring my voice up just a little bit. The audio is always so screwed on these. Alrighty. Make sure that that is not going to hit us again because it's going to immediately. I hate the way. I didn't know it would take Unity this long to open up. So, have not done a stream here on YouTube in a couple of weeks. I've been doing them over on Twitch. But, oh my goodness, Grandpa Eric did not really prepare at all. Let me dash off for and get a beverage really quick, and I will be right back. It's very dry in this apartment because it's winter and we're locked indoors. Oh my goodness. And particulates, especially because you got 3 cats and 2 humans in here. I'll be right back. Sorry about this. Waiting. I mean, as you can see, we are all still waiting. We're about 60% there on this fascinating loading. And by the way, as usual, the work that I am going to be doing tonight is going to be painfully boring. It's a detail of books that I don't think really probably 10% of players will even notice, but it's something that I wanted in there. Every book that you pick up in the game, there are going to be multiple copies of books that you can find in the game, and every book is going to be different, including the ones at the library. And you want when you're making a game like this, especially where all the humans are gone, but you're trying to describe what those humans were like, you have to put them, you're basically relegated to the artifacts that they leave behind. And one of those, here's the thing is, again, it's not important to really notice these things, but if you want to get an impression of what kind of people some people are, I mean, what books would they read? And in the back of all the books that you can find, the copies of the books you'll find in the library, you'll find the pages where it lists the library numbers, or sorry, the library card numbers of the people who checked those books out last time. And again, this isn't something that is 100% vital to the plot or anything. It's just my German like completionist genes coming to the fore and going, every detail must be exactly correct, you know. Oh, good, my volume is up. By the way, the chat is open. Oh, Hispano, hello, hola. So many stuff on the desktop, dude. I need to clean up my desktop. So oh goodness, yeah. And the thing is this isn't even my monitor at full resolution. It's actually 440, you know, and it would still be full because that's my sort of like my dumping ground. And I know it makes me look old. I used to hate people who had such disorganized desktops, but that was before, you know, I had to start writing weekly updates and having to save a lot of stuff just really quick. So anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to create another new scene. No, sorry. Bring these books in and just go through and make sure the pages are all correct. And here's a kicker. I did the... if you've been following our Patreon, the kicker about this is I actually did this work about 2 weeks ago, and it was painfully boring the first time, and so it's going to be techno boring this time. So that's again why I'm streaming, because otherwise I'd fall asleep and wonder, hey, it's Saturday, why aren't I playing RimWorld? Well, I'll answer that question because, you know, I do give myself half a day off on weekend days. So I actually like allow myself. And, yeah, my RimWorld colony is going very well. Thank you very much. So how are things going with you, Hispano, and anybody else who wants to chat? If we have our puppet friends showing up this evening, hopefully they're not going to be in a trolling mood, because I never am. Really, come on. I'm having to come up to admit, really, in about 5 months, I turn literally 55. I'm gonna have to go. I'm in my mid-50s. I think that officially makes me old. But anyway, what we want to do now is we want to lay down these books. And this book. Yeah, we still see. Okay, freak books. And yeah, there are 2 copies of some books in the library, in which case each of those books is different. And some of the books, the differences is like there may be like a stain on one of the pages. There might be, you know, somebody may have scribbled something in one of the margins on one of the pages. I'm trying to make it so that like we're trying. I'm trying to make it so that having so many books in here is actually, you know, interesting to people. You don't have to read them, but you can flip through them if you want. But you'll see that some of them are quite long. Let's see, what was this one? This was J.A. Kelly. Yeah, and some of these books were works by people who wanted some of them. I mean, basically, they thought they were just getting the brick, just you know, a rectangle in the game that had their covers on it. They didn't understand that no, literally every book in the game has it has content all the way through, and you know that's something I wanted to actually bring up, and it's also something incredibly boring. But essentially, I discovered I'm moving all the book text, and this is something I have to do over the next coming week. Is really I'm changing all the text of the books from a serif font to a sans serif font. In other words, I'm moving them from a Times Roman, a Times font that has, you know, a little details on the feet of it, to a sans serif because they're easier to read. especially on a screen. I'm also gonna have to really go through and get rid of the Dutch angle on the camera as they look at the book. I thought it would be artistic, but really, it just it makes everything kind of look not good. It makes it look not good. So anyway, so what we have here is all the books from the library. There, I just respective pages, but I need to make sure. I'm going to position them in a way that the cat can just. This is literally it. Is I'm going to have to go through these books one by one, and I'm wondering. I guarantee you, over this past a couple of weeks ago, something happened. I do not know what, but the game was. I mean, the project was almost bricked for about a day. But thankfully, Laura, bless her soul, had a copy of the project that was unmolested by idiocy, and we were able to get it, rebuild it bit by bit. And yeah, this I think that's the second time that really never ever rely on your version control system for taking care for ensuring content in your game project. Always, always, always have physical backups, not backups on digital backups on local drives. That's I mean, no, you can't rely on. I know I can't rely on. I can't rely on. What was it? What's this? This horrible thing we're using, P4V Perforce. I mean, I know you can't rely on GitHub because I've heard GitHub horror stories. But anyway, so we're gonna start just right over here. Just have the cat walk down one by one, flip to the last page of every book, and make sure that everything is square. And again, some people, when I'm flipping through these, some people get the idea. I mean, I remember when Myst came out, and people were like, "Oh my God, the reading you have to do." You don't have to do this reading. We're just including it for many many reasons that I've gone over many times before in these streams. If you haven't watched, if you want, tell me in the chat and I will go over it again. Why we're literally having 30-page books in this game, and I will gladly explain. So Isfano, anybody who still may be watching, has seen any good movies lately, any good TV shows, can I warn everybody that to borrow a phrase, and well, Mom might be watching, and my nieces and my sister, so I can't use. I mean, I've been watching a lot of DJ Peach Cobbler lately, and he has some great phrases. But let's just say I didn't like it. The most polite way I could put it, it was like having a sumo wrestler fart in your face for about 6 hours. It was Earth Abides. It was like this new, because I loved that novel. I love post-apocalyptic novels, and yeah, I'm gonna have to change all. You see this tan color? I'm gonna have to change that. But I'm wondering. I mean, oh my goodness. Actually, no. Isabella Ugarelli, and it's actually Isadora, is the final book that I finished. This one has not been done. So, Kitty, screw it. You're not supposed to be messing with that one. Let's just run down. We'll go back to this then, because I know. I mean, this is a case where somebody asked for their book to be in the game, and they thought they were just having a brick. But no, we're including the full first chapter of their book. And trust me, there are good reasons for us doing so. But first, we have to. And again, you can see here the serif font gets a little bit blurry. And again, I think this Dutch angle shoots us in the foot. Actually, it looks like this one already has the sheet in it, but it has a duplicate. So I just need to go through and get rid of those last 2 pages. That's sweet. Okay. I guess some of the work that I did previously carried over. That's good. Yeah, Earth Abides, this TV show that was like having sumo wrestler fart in my face for 6 hours. It is just a fantastic novel, and I just they did everything wrong. And I mean, when I heard about it, I was like, Laura, this is one of my favorite, but please, you gotta watch it. And at the end of this show, I was giving the screen the finger, with both hands, and apologizing to Laura because we sat there and watched the two final episodes, which was just awful. Just awful. And if you want to know what they got wrong, go and read the book. Okay? But I can't tell you, it looks like the page color on these text, on these pages needs to be changed on the materials. So let me get these and fix those really quick while I'm at it. Oh no. We have, it's already set to white. How come it looks tan? Just odd. Go figure. Maybe it's because let me see the first page. And in the case of one contributor who wanted their book in the game, they thought they were just getting the brick in there, and they had a piece of fan fiction they had written called "A Taste of Lethe." And here's the thing: we wrote an entire book called "A Taste of Lethe." And when we wrote to her, she was like, I thought we were just going to like have the brick in there. This is why. Yeah, it doesn't have a metallic, right? The other pages have the metallic on it, right? I believe that's why they have metallic texture, and the front page doesn't. That's why it was all shiny, and the other ones aren't. Um, Hold on, let me just see something. I'm going to do an experiment. Maybe it's better if they don't have a metallic. That maybe the serif is better. I actually never did this, so what I'm going to do is none. But Earth Abides is a fantastic novel. It was written many decades ago. And I mean, trust me, some of the changes they made in the television series were great. Were totally fine. I mean, for example, the main character Ish's partner, or his wife, I figure whatever, because they meet up after the apocalypse. She happens to be black and he's white. I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, come on. I have no problem with that at all. I had a problem with them just absolutely crapping on the novel's ending and trying to relate it in literally 6 hours in 6 episodes in a single season. Actually, no, it looks better, I think. Because look at that, that's just fuzzy. I mean, let me see my quality settings. Hold on. Yeah, that's going to have to be addressed. Let me just do this while I'm at it. Number one, oh yeah, we already got rid of those final two pages. So that one's done. Let's just go back to play mode again. I'm going to move the spawn location down there so I don't have to run. And that was disappointing because Earth Abides, like I said, I love post-apocalyptic novels. And, I mean, Canticle for Leibowitz. And I was always saying, I hope they make a TV series out of Canticle for Leibowitz. But after seeing the butchery they did on Earth Abides, no, please, please, don't. Oh, so nobody's saying that. By the way, this is a two-way conversation. I'm used to being on Twitch where people actually, converse. Like, and I was seeing that. I mean, I'm used to absolutely nobody watching, but some people are tuning in. I get the impression they were probably like, they're hoping to like see fantastic, in-game footage or something. They don't know that I'm literally just going through children's books and making sure, the cards in the back are correct. Hey, look at that. This has them. But here's what I fear. Does that mean all copies have these freaking pages? And now I'm going to have to go through the other copies and remove them. One thing at a time. Actually, what I want to do, I kicked out of that too quick, is to make sure. Because the other one should have a card in the back that just says library copy. Because it's the one that's found by the children's reading circle. And by the way, does anybody? I've been meaning to do this. Apparently, some like weird incel type out there has like assembled a list of like woke games that offend whatever values they pretend to have, because there might be, mention of environmentalism or global warming or gay characters. I need to alert them. Oh, hey, look at this. Man, this is just turning into a review. Because I may have to go through the other copies and make sure that that last page is gone. But yeah, yeah, I still have to go through, and you could see, how, like I say, that the text could be clearer. I'm actually thinking of just changing it all to Arial bold, so it's even easier. But yeah, and this book, Taste of Lethe, is sort of like my tip of the hat. Oh, no, 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 that's it. Where we go. Let me just make sure. TBROQ. So I have these. Because this is Tasting Lethe, which was by, sorry, me. Ackroyd. Yeah, by the way, we're gonna tighten up the speeds on all of these. Hmm, strange. I thought it would. Oh, there we go. TBROQ. Okay, correct. Like I said, I don't blame people for tuning out. I mean, my goodness, Eric literally going through and making sure that details that he's already said are degrees of tangential from the main plot are correct. But hey, this is what you do in a story driven game. You want to make sure that every piece of the story fits and there are no loose ends. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that Dutch angle because that really screws with how the text is, skewed. This was a rather long one. I think it's one of the longest ones, and it's actually this one lacks. This one does not. So this was what was this? Crystal Pawn needs a page and back. I need to make note of that. Chris Pawn. Cat Care book. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Looks like the camera motion on that needs to be cleaned up a little bit too much as well. Yep, we got that. So this is turning out to be a heck of a lot easier than I thought. And why am I constantly exiting out of it? I gotta do something. This was one of the first books that we had to write we wrote for the book, and I could tell while I'm putting it into Arial font, I need to add page numbers on the bottom. This apparently does not have Oh, by the way, Bill Clare, I've gone into this so many times, is that all of the books by Maurice Markarian all tie into each other. And in this last book, Isadora found a lamp down by the deli. You find the ultimate fate of Bill Clare. You see, it's, an homage, sort of just taking a hit tip from Stephen King's, Dark Tower, where he wrote a bunch of novels and then tied them together, obliquely. When you're Stephen King, he can write anything and he'll sell 1 million copies. Oh yeah, yep. Right. And Alex. Oh no. And this was a book that we had to change because we initially thought this was going to be called a book called The Cats on Elm Street. But we misinterpreted it. So another woman just wanted a book in there called Alex, named after her son. So we wrote an entire book about her son and an adventure that he has that ties in tangentially to a lot of other stuff in the game. It looks like these lack the page numbers. It looks like what happened was that we lost the new pages that I imported. And you can see some books were never checked out. But it looks like the only book that's missing a what is this? Us. I didn't. Why does Windows show me this crap? Yeah, it was just the Crystal Pawn needs that back one. And you know what? I'm going to give myself just a big old miss. Actually, let's see. Jarvis. Because if we did have something. Because I believe the fact that. Okay. Pawn. Yeah, we did a specific one for the Crystal Pawn. So that's going to be relatively. Maybe it's already in the project and it just hasn't been assigned. Yes, we already have it. And hopefully we have the material and we could just slide that right in. Let's see, pitch pawn. Yep, we already have the material. It's ready to go. So that was already in there. I can knock something off of the list of crap I've got to do. Well, stuff, not crap. Have no complaints about this job. All right, so what we're going to do is going to add a page. Move that one down. And put it in the final page of. Looks like we need another page to even things out. So. There wouldn't be a 31 unless there was a purpose. Okay, so, all right. Wow, it's kind of warm in here, and that's strange considering it is. Man, today I'm reminded that in Maine we're one of the few places in this country that has 4 actual seasons, and man, 40 degrees in January is completely different than 40 degrees anytime. Oh my goodness, today. I was out there, and there are times in Maine when you're walking and you're both freezing and sweating like crazy at the same time. And you just get used to it. So cool. Oh yeah, did I play? Yep, I applied the overrides. Okay, so those books are good to go. But one thing like I said earlier, I'm sort of concerned because did the non-library books get hopefully so let's see, one, and I'm just going to drag that in there way over here and have the cat check that guy out. Oh, hello. Critical Mass. Switch. The gaming coming along. The gaming is coming along quite well. We are, if you've been following our Patreon updates, we for a while, I used, sorry, we got to go through the back of the picture. Sorry, I made the mistake of falling into, there's all these stupid work platforms like Slack, and there's this other one that we used. This one does not have the library back page, so these are good. The pages are good. Oh, and well, it's funny to me, but it was something we were saved from. Is that when we were playing the hero over here, we did not know that this was an author who wanted like a self-insert, and so I actually we had this whole thing where playing the hero is going to be part 3 of a 3-novel series, but you could never find the first 2 books, and that was something I was not looking forward to writing, because it was a book that would have to draw all of its emotion, what little emotional stuff you can drag out of like a 30-page story, out of stuff that is unknown to the reader. But thankfully, we were saved. But here's the problem. So I know we're gonna have to write at least 10 more books for the full game. Uh, it's just gonna have to be done. In fact, one of the things on my list is we are rewriting, making sure that all of the magazine pages, because um, once we started putting in books that people were able to read all the way through, they were wondering how come we can only go through the first article in a magazine or the first chapter in a textbook. And I said, okay, yeah, no problem. This is one of those things that I think when we made the mistake of hiring that Brett Dunham guy, he was like, you don't understand, Eric. Making an adventure game is hard. An open world story, it's kind of hard. And I was like, oh, does it involve a lot of writing and a lot of work? Oh, I'm sorry, Brett Dunham, that you are not ever asked to do like a lot of work at the companies that you previously worked for. That was the problem point when I should have fired him, quite frankly. Because I think after that point is like, well, no, I know he's going to rip us off from the very beginning. So my response wouldn't really matter. I mean, he was whining. It'll be very hard. Dude, nothing in life comes easy. And I mean, nothing in life worth having comes easy. You got to work for it. And that's not the capitalist ethos. That's just life in general. Because if it comes easy, if a game comes easy, it's going to be a piece of crap. If anything comes easy, it's going to be a piece of crap. All right, sounds like we're good on the books. So what I want to do here is I'm going to, I like doing this, so just going to have to indulge me. I'm going to open our to-do list and move that thing down to the done list. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel good seeing one more thing done. There it is. Bing. And by the way, that hits us of officially over 80% done on the list. The list now has been over 1,400 fixes and systems and improvements. And the game and some right now Lance is redoing our controller. The jumps in the current controller really just he didn't have enough to work with. Let me see if I can bring one of those new jumps that we're using in because the new jumps are just so smooth. They're a little bit high. I mean, the jump is really high, but I still think they're very good compared to with the sort of just jiggly, janky thing we have now. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Before it was just very chonky, and when you were jumping, the cat would pause and before it jumped. And I mean, this again is the first draft. He's been working on it. Here's the thing about Lance. He likes holding off his stuff and just wowing the crap out of us. And I think he said he's going to be working on it, and I trust him on that. So, again, the next controller is going to be fantastic compared with what you see in the game currently. And let's see. Yeah, the big things is I got to finish this book, Felix Rauch, on the Urban Couch, which is sort of like it's another book in the whole like Dark Tower series sort of thing in there. And here's the big thing: we have been holding off on adding, going over all the mission dialogue and refining stuff as far as story, in-game story goes, because I've described this in a previous Patreon update. We know that well, I don't know what the Annapurna is. He's still watching us because I don't pay attention. Now that I found out that they were watching us, or at least two other projects were watching us, and I know that if they were watching us, they were probably paying $1 a month. So we have intentionally put off revising all of the in-game. Right now most of the mission text is very generic, like, hi, I'm a chicken, I want you to find me chicken stuff or open my chicken door. That's because, again, we've been holding off. Laura and I, over the coming week, are going to be having very intense writers' workshops over every bit of dialogue, because I've described this before. Laura and I work sort of like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was done by a duo by the name of Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And what they literally, when they were doing the first comics together, they had a room that had a window in between the two rooms, and they set up their drawing tables on both sides. And what they would do is one of them would work on a page, and they'd hand it over through the window to the other guy, and the other guy would hand his stuff over. That's sort of like the work process with this. Laura creates first version. I throw a criticism and suggestions. And I say criticism in the most positive way. I'm not like, this is wrong, because what she's done so many interiors now. And here's the thing, she is a fantastic. This is one of those situations where being a fantastic Sims player assisted her in her job, because she's taking care of these interiors, and where's that apartment? Yeah, number 2. I actually, we were talking about this. I want to put this interior in the next build, but have it only accessible by one window on the 3rd floor of this building. So there are a few missing textures here, you can see, but we're going to fix that. But so, it's still in its, like, alpha form or beta form or pre-beta, but just because this is, I think, going to be among the largest interiors people can find in the game. And it's a 3-story house. Let me see. Actually, let me see. I'm gonna copy that stuff. Is it 8 o'clock? Oh, I was wondering if it's time to feed the kitty cats. I could never forgive myself if it was. I'm pretty sure there are going to be holes in the floor and there are going to be issues, but let's just drag it in here and bring the test spawn location over there. So let's see. Yeah, it's going to be buggy. So trust me. Again, this is the first version. But yeah, for some reason I'm missing textures that she has. But let's just run this. It may fall right through all the floors. We'll see. And there's going to be problems with the camera passing through things. And I recently discovered again. I forgot about this thing inside of Unity called the physics matrix, and for some reason I forgot about it. I felt so stupid, and not having that working properly was the reason we could not. Right now, I'll show you. Kitty walks into the wall, head disappears. Now, I can fix that, but before I was like, I can't, because that messes up the cat because the cat's climb trigger, the thing that gives the player the option to climb an object, is triggered by a chest collider. And the head collider was preventing that, but I know the solution now, and the solution is so quick. That's on our list, because I want a head collider, because now we have to, yeah, you can see that rather chunky. Let's just run around here and see. Yeah, you can see they're very generic, almost like Doom levels from the and this room needs to be expanded. That is way too tight. But where are the stairs? Damn it! Oh yeah, down here, and I think that needs. Hopefully, it can be fixed. We may have to alter the. Oh, that's because it intersects with the terrain that we stuck in there. But it's a huge interior. But I think there are so many things that need to be fixed. But again, like I said, we should just put it in there as like an Easter egg. Yeah, you can see it's way below. It's the mud flood. East Island is part of the mud flood. See? If you're not aware of what the mud flood is, it's another of those like stupid TikTok theories that just proves that TikTok is number one um, it is a asymmetrical warfare tool by the Chinese government, and if you consider me a tinfoil hat person, that's been long established by everybody. Um, and number two, I will say that if Donald Trump bans TikTok, it will be one of the few policies that he will ever do in whatever capacity that he has ever had that I will approve of. TikTok needs to be banned. It just does. Anyway, so let's see. The next thing on the list here. Oh, goodness. Synthetica. Use stickers. We got somebody working on the better save system. Right now, the save system we have is not reliable. Still, in fact, we got two people working on it. Laura's working on it, but right now, we got another person looking at it to try and fix this persistent issue where every time you start Peace Island, you have to tweak the audio settings, the master audio settings. Otherwise, a lot of the audio is going to be muted, and it's just really annoying because especially one of the things that's muted when you start is the emergency alert message, coming from the television, which sets the entire premise of the story. And if you can't hear that, anyway. And you can see he's got some very easy things here, like add grocery items named after patrons. Laura's created those items. I need to add them, and one of the reasons why, even if I add them, I can't put them down there because I'll show you here. Oh yeah, another thing. In the next versions, we're gonna have answering machine messages, and that's another thing we put off until the very last because that's another big story sort of thing. I mean, Peace Island is going to be like playing Soma in story mode, essentially. If you like Soma in story mode, you'll like Peace Island. Okay. Um, except we don't have that. Here's the thing: I would love to have. I could write from here until the time I'm 80. And at that point, that's about 26 years from now. I would never be able to come up with a game writing as good as they did in Soma. Soma, if you've never played Soma, S tier, just chef's kiss, perfect, perfect, in just about every way. Soma the game, it's just amazing. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I was going to show you. What I want to do is I not only want to have the products of the people, products that people had named after them in the game. I want them to be mentioned, have advertisements inside of the magazines that you encounter inside the game. So that's the next thing I got to do. And I think the food, you can see here, the food magazine is all done with the exception of one article and a disclaimer page, the bottom half of which is going to be just, an advertisement for a product. And yeah. And some people have accused us, oh, you're using AI to fill that. Well, no. Here's the thing. We have never, ever had a shortage of story and stuff we wanted to put into this game. I mean, I always say that during the 18 months that unfortunately the project was under the influence of Mike Shiranovsky and Brett Dunham and the rest of the scammers, is that the one bright thing of that is that Laura and I we had writers meetings every week, just about every day. We were updating the wiki, we were figuring stuff out. I could, again, when I talk about, oh, we have 10 more books to write for the game, absolutely no problem. I can write 20 books and films. I could write more books for this game than there you'd find in the, Skyrim. And I'd still have stuff I could write about. So, again, that's another thing when again that AAA game developer Brett Dunham came to us with his big fancy resume, going, "Oh, I've worked in all these great studios, but making a game like this is very hard." Well, I'm sorry that you don't know how to write and you don't know have any spirit in you of creativity. That's again, I should have fired him at that point, but I was stupid. Anyway, enough about that. Let's see, what was I going to work on next? I think there may not be much in the game physically I can do right now. I mean, this is very back-end coding. I don't want to do characters' names in books. Actually, jeez, that's one of these things that's going to be done as soon as I finish Felix Rausch. Because basically, when I finish this one book here, these 4 items are done. Boom. Because they're all related to all the books that you see in the game, except for the world history textbook, the physics textbook, and the main history textbook. Main history, I have no problem. And actually, the world history textbook, I felt sort of cheated in that we only had the first chapter, because there is an alternate history angle to Peace Island story, and that I excellent. I could write 20 pages of the alternate history. It dovetails from our world in 1820, which is the year that Maine became a state in the United. Maine was originally part of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, as were a lot of states up here. Basically, all of New England was Massachusetts at one point. Anyway, let me see how long I've been just offending people with my presence. Let me see here. I've been going for 46 minutes. That's kind of short. You know, what I'm going to say is I think what I really like to do here is I'm going to write more of the final book, Felix Rausch and the Urban Couch, because I've been, let me see, do I have it here? Just see here, all these books. Goodness, I don't, oh, no. Oh goodness, I'm just so scatterbrained. Yeah, so I'm looking for a piece on 2D art, books, books, novel, and it was novel. Here we go. Because I enjoy what? This isn't Felix Rausch. Hold on. Oh, this is the old version. Oh, holy crap. Here's the thing is, at the very start of this, I actually wrote an entire 9-chapter Felix Rausch book. But what the heck? What did I lose this? Hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quit up WN W, and we're going to restart because for some reason, what the heck is this? Well, I mean, long story short, these things are also sort of like creative writing enterprise exercises like me that I enjoy doing. And actually, I think I have. I hope I didn't lose it entirely. That would suck. Let me just see here. Yeah, I've been reading a bit of literary criticism lately about Cormac McCarthy. I love Cormac McCarthy, The Road. But here's the thing, and I have a bad habit of saying that. I used to find myself a quarter every time I said it. But let's just see. Oh, no, no, no. It was in Quinn's Ideas. Writing in general. Here we go. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Come on. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we are. Yeah, I was going through and I'm trying to write this new book, Felix Rausch, in the style of Cormac McCarthy. And I mean, anybody who's ever read Blood Meridian, I totally stole the first line, but um, I see the man, hungry and lean, in his faded blue hoodie, a ball cap low across his brow. He holds a sandwich and studies the street where a battered couch waits for what comes. And in this city, it is but another piece of refuge condemned to the gutter, draped with the rags of late autumn. I'm sorry, I can't read my own book, but yeah, it's yeah, I'm gonna again. People who are playing the game, you don't have to be tortured with reading all of that. But here's the thing: as long as we have books in there, heck, I'm going to fill them with the stuff that I find interesting and the styles that I find interesting. And again, you don't have to read a single one of these books to finish the game or enjoy it. I think it's all up to you. Anyway, I think I have to go start writing. It seems that I actually did lose that those pages in InDesign. I think what happened maybe is that I perhaps oh no, here it is. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I could continue start writing this, but again, anyway, but just something hit me in the gut. Oh, clear. And I can regain it if it's necessary. Let's just see here. Oh yeah, yeah. I still have the original Claire novel because for some reason this was saved over Claire when it's really Felix. But anyway, yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do right now. And creative writing is not something that streams well. It's usually just me sitting here and looking angry at my screen for minutes that are interspersed with brief moments of flurried typing. So I'm just gonna say, listen. Like I said, we are. I've not streamed in a while, and you are right to think. I mean, where are we? But I go by the list, and at this point, out of all the stuff we got to get done, we are at 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 157 items, and there are 10, 20, 30, 37 items left. So, like I said, we're around 81, 82%. We're very close. And most of the stuff that remains is going to be just a lot of story-centric stuff. And to be fair, there are a lot of people who wanted their names mentioned in the game. I got to make sure that that's right, especially the pet cemetery in the island, because that's a very important part of the game. That's actually been neglected, I think, well into 2 years now. I need to take another close look at that. So, ladies and germs, what I'm going to do before I go offline and is I'm just going to say, hey, if you have any questions, comments, and criticisms, or any question about the game, please put them in the chat. And when I get back after a quick trip to the other room to stuff a big olive in my mouth, Trader Joe's has these olives stuffed with blue cheese. And oh my God, they're to die for. I'm going to go eat one of those and drink something to get rid of all the saltiness. And when I get back, maybe there are going to be some questions. Probably not. Either that or maybe our puppet pals joined us and they're trolling me and I haven't even been paying attention. We'll see. Be right back. Let me put on a piece of music. God, that'll pace my exit. Let's just see. We can go into YouTube and jeez. Yeah, I could put on Death in Rome, the bunker song in the background. I'll be back in just a bit. Let's see here. Oh, what happened to my audio? Oh, it's muted. That's why. I will be back, and probably there are no questions at all. And by the way, Mom and Sister, if you guys are watching, hopefully the storm is going to treat you well. I hear from Martha that the storm is sitting down there in Kentucky. Take care of yourselves. But I will be back in a moment to address any questions that probably never came. I'll be right back.
To stay and down the stairs in shadows deep we find the space where we may keep above the dogs still fight for one. The winds will howl and the world will groan, but here we rest through shadows play until the dawn puts the night away. Stone and steel of hearts on fire, we stand tall, one beside.
All right, I could see that absolutely no questions or comments or anything came in while I was gone. So I guess we have well, no viewers. And by the way, when I was in there the other room, let me make sure my audio levels are correct. I just want to say something. Earlier today, and I always make it a point of mentioning the names of the people who scammed our project and did everything they could to make sure that it was destroyed, that I mentioned their names correctly. Now, earlier in the stream, I mentioned one of these individuals. His name at that time was Mike Shiranovsky. This individual now identifies as Amy Elizabeth Shiranovsky. And understand when I say that, I'm just putting that out there. I wish them the best of luck and good life in their transition, and especially when we're going into apparently, you know, a really crazy time here in the United States. So just as like one human to another, I wish them all the best. But here is the problem with Mike Sharanovsky's. I'm just wondering, did they think that that would make them less of a scammer and a better game developer? Um, just wondering. Hopefully not, because it ain't gonna work. Anyway, take care, ladies, germs, and those in between. I gotta go off and write absurd fiction for a couple of hours. Take care, and thanks to those who did tune in. Bye bye.